A green space at its fundamental concept is just not cement in a city where everything else is paved over. But in reality, it's so much more. It's a gathering space for communities.
It represents life. You can grow plants that are edible. You can grow plants that are beautiful to see.
For me, especially living in the city, I can get kind of overwhelmed with all the busyness and the streets and the cars and people. And green spaces feel calming and relaxing.
As a society, I can't imagine a city that we would have without green spaces. It would be terrible. You know, we'd be disconnected from each other, from the earth.
There's something that happens when you're in a green space, in a park, in a community garden, where people open up a little bit and their boundaries are softened, and all of a sudden they'll make a connection with their neighbor or a community member that they might not have otherwise.
Some people might not like green spaces in cities just because they think there's a more productive use of the space. Like, instead of this green space, we could have a 20-story building and we could put a bunch of different companies in there and we could make a lot of products.
They don't understand how they could benefit from the green spaces.
My experience has shown me that a majority of people are actually only not in favor because they see it as a trade-off for other uses. People are often feeling like I have a choice of either affordable housing or green space. And I think we have to be very careful about those false trade-offs and really look creatively to where are those solutions for both. Can you have a green space on top of a roof so you can have both housing and green space? Yes.
It's people being worried about transient or homeless populations in parks and the safety that does or does not have. Green spaces have been shown to increase health, lower levels of violence, provide opportunities for community building, but it really depends on how they're maintained and upkept, and also the people that are programming them.
Crusader Garden is a strip of land that extends from 3rd Street to New Home. The mission is to try to get the neighbors to come together, to work together, and to build a neighborhood from starting the garden. I think it affected the community by different ones coming out. If they weren't working in the garden, they had the opportunity to talk to different ones in the garden. A lot of people would pass by in their cars, they would stop and talk. So that was beneficial to us also.
We at the PUC actually believe that green spaces are part of pollution prevention solution. And in some of the gardens that are on our land, we actually teach classes to help educate people.
The main purpose of this garden is to educate students in San Francisco about how we can create a sustainable living city. Since kids are going to be the stewards of the city for the next generation, the goal is to teach them about how we can do that.
This is one of the first sites that's focusing on green infrastructure and city sustainability at the city scale. So a lot of the school gardens, now they're becoming more science focused as well, but for a while it was just focused on food growing, which is great. This garden is really special because it focuses on energy and water and waste systems as well, and so it's looking more at big picture thinking for how to integrate sustainability into kids' learning.
So especially in a city like San Francisco, which is very, very urban, there's kind of a lack of green spaces, and even the green spaces that we have aren't easily accessible to everyone. So a garden space like this is really crucial. There's a kid today who looked out the fence and saw a squirrel and was like, I've never seen a real squirrel in the wild before. And that was something that struck me because you do see squirrels in the city, but that person, you know, for whatever reason might not have had access to a place that had trees where squirrels might have been climbing on. That showed me the importance of a garden like this.
I think children learn so well in an outdoor environment because they have the ability to really touch and feel and understand what's going on in a very tactile way that they may have exposure to that in their classroom, but it really pales in comparison to the experience that that child has growing a vegetable themselves and saying, I helped make that soil healthy, then I planted a seed, then I was the one who watered it, and then I got to watch it grow, and now I want to eat it.
Especially in the city where those opportunities are so limited, cities need to think about the best way to provide green spaces that citizens can access if they want to.